Hi there, very good afternoon and welcome to The Nation. You're with me, Tamina Kauji, and today, in the spirit of the Chinese New Year's festivities which just wrapped up, I have with me Master Kenny Hu, who is of course here to give us a feng shui outlook and success for the year 2017. How are you today?
Very good. 恭喜发财 and
Same to you.
Yeah, 新年快乐 to everyone.
Absolutely. Now, Master Kenny Hu, can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started with all your predictions for what we have waiting for us in 2017?
Every day I'm enjoying my hobby. Actually, my so-called job is I'm helping people to understand their life path. For example, where will be their so-called the opportunity, their threat, and also should there be any strength or whatever so-called weaknesses, right? So that we can help them to so-called identify all this, so that they can plan ahead about their life path. Just like people doing business, right? They'll be having the business budgeting, forecasting. These are the things that we are doing, and we will also advise people, for example, in terms of their house, in terms of their office, and also, for example, factory, how they can align their working space, their living space into a proper so-called configurations, so that they can be exposed to a set of very positive qi, or that so-called energy.
That's right.
So that everything will be going on very smoothly throughout the whole year, and then in their life also, when things are going on smoothly, then everything will be done in a smoother way, then everything will be more effective.
Right, okay. Now I must ask you, Master Kenny, especially in a multicultural country like Malaysia, we generally hear the catchphrase feng shui around the time of the Chinese New Year festivities, right?
Yes.
But is feng shui just something that is applicable during festive times, or is it something that you can use all year round?
The feng shui actually is a way of life. It teaches, for example, it can be implemented not only during the Chinese New Year, in fact throughout the whole year, throughout a person's whole life, so that the person can be exposed to always to a set of very positive qi. So when the things are going on smoothly, so everything should be fine. So it's not only confined to during the festive seasons only.
Right, okay, I see. So now feng shui wise, how did you actually get your start in this very interesting field that you obviously have so much of passion for? Was it something you always loved since you were growing up?
Yes, since I was very young, actually I wanted life to be further enhanced. Of course, in terms of life enhancement, just like the Maslow hierarchy of needs, right?
That's right.
Enhancement from the very basic physiological needs, in terms of like money, in terms of basic needs, right? Then after that, people will want to have some, for example, better security, better relationship, and then eventually like to achieve the self-actualizations, so that people can help others, so they can make the whole environment, whole society to be better. So similarly, since very young, I've been dreaming to want to get some kind of enhancement in life. For example, from young time, we want to enhance in terms of our studies, right? Coming into the career, working time, we want to enhance our career, our so-called our wealth, and also love, and this and that, right? So along this way, since young, I've been seeing people, for example, some people, they may have, for example, some people are born to be very, so-called maybe very smart,
right,
very capable. However, after some time, after some years, maybe initially they have some so-called target to achieve. Then after that, somehow, maybe due to the, I don't know, maybe some other factors, right, affected them, and then causing them did not achieve the dream or the desire that they wanted.
Right.
So that could be making them feel a little bit so-called maybe they did not understand why this thing happened, negatively to them. And then, since young, I've been doing a lot of studies. Then, after that, I found that everyone actually is being influenced by the person's life path.
Okay, so certain factors always play inside.
Yeah, just like a path. When someone is born, right, because of the then current configurations of the sun, moon, star, when a baby is born during a particular timing, he or she, the body will be charged by the unique combination of the five forces. For example, someone born during the summer, naturally their body will have more fire element. So during, for example, summer time, that's when the fire element become too strong, or during the winter time, that's when the water element become too strong, maybe clashing with them. So in terms of their health or their thinking method, maybe not so smooth, so that may affect all of their undertakings. So we need to understand this. And then when we understand further, actually everyone will be having just like a path, a life path. right? Someone just like when we are driving, we can use, nowadays a lot of people are using Waze, right?
That's right.
To understand the route ahead, how's the condition of the road. Similarly, we can use this analysis to understand the route ahead. For example, this year, who will be having, for example, very vertically, functionally, in terms of health will be better. Who will be better in terms of, for example, their wealth luck. So when we know about all this strength, we can fully utilize it and then we can leverage it.
Right.
And somehow we can see a lot of people, for example, at certain timing, they maybe could be doing some maybe wrong step during the wrong timing.
Okay.
That make their effort to become less effective.
I see.
Come to the end, maybe they will blame, due to this, due to that, then I did not achieve this.
Yeah, I think we all look for reasons when something goes wrong, right? Yeah.
Actually, if we are able to understand, for example, in terms of our life path, we can do some life path management.
Right.
We can manage in terms of what? When we understand, let's say, the road ahead, how many kilometers from now there'll be a straight road and a highway. Before this, we need to, for example, to equip ourselves, to strengthen our capabilities, to avoid doing this and that, so that we can avoid whatever risk. When we come to the good timing, then we can leverage the opportunities. This is actually to teach people, to let them be aware of doing the right thing at the right timing. When the risk is there, actually, instead of avoiding it, right, we can do, for example, using Feng Shui, Good Feng Shui, right, to minimize the risk. And should there be any so-called opportunity, the Feng Shui, when we align it properly, actually, Feng Shui is a way of life to align, for example, our external factor. For example, the space planning, right? In terms of color, in terms of the configurations of the bed, the position of the door, the location of the stove, then that will actually create a set of so-called the qi.
Right, good energy.
Yeah, the energy actually this is just, Feng Shui actually is the highest level of the implementation of the law of attraction.
Right. I like that, the implementation of the highest force.
Yes, the highest level, because we're talking about the person in terms of their, not only the zodiac, also about their so-called their parts, about their element, what direction they should face, during what time, what year they should do this or not to do that. And also this is actually to help us, right, to be exposed to always to a set of very positive qi. That is all about Feng Shui. From then, since young, I've been exposed to all this. So happened, I was studying in this computer science.
Oh, right, interesting.
From there, I combined all this together, and so happened, Chinese culture, since during my teenage time, especially after I entered to the university, I tried to, I so-called discover, I realized actually, I realized that the Chinese culture actually is a very digital culture. Because everything is based on the yin and yang. Yin and yang is 1 and 0, actually is binary system.
Yes, very true. When you look at the baseline,
the baseline is all about 1 and 0. It's all about binary system. Moreover, Chinese culture is also a very multi-dimensional culture. Because we are having a so-called numbering system. In the so-called direct translation, is the numbering system is heavenly stem, and also the earthly branch. Is X and Y. For example, current year, 2017 is the fire rooster year.
Yes, that's
Not only the year, actually the month also can be categorized or parameterized using this X and Y. The day is itself and also the time.
Wow.
So from there we can have a so-called very unique 4-dimensional coordinates. So that's why after I studied computer science, I find that it's very easy to computerize all these things. And of course,
to sort of have an algorithm for it. Okay,
algorithm. That's the thing. There's a key words. I find that actually there's an algorithm that we can actually use, we can discover, and then it can be implemented using the computer to analyze it. This is how I do it. And then, of course, through I learned from many different schools of thoughts, different masters. I pick up a lot of different so-called strength and also some points, right? Some good points. Then I combine together. That is so-called the method I'm using is called Good Feng Shui Converge Water Technique.
Converge water technique.
Yeah, I like the word convergence because during early 90s, right, the late 80s and early 90s, the highest challenge in terms of technology actually is the convergence of data in terms of like the voice, the image, and also the data.
How to bring it all together, right?
That's 3G.
Yes, exactly.
During the time, 3G is the most challenging time, and after that, when the convergence is done, right, now we are having 4G, even higher generation of technology.
Exactly, yes. So, I mean, in a time before technology, of course, Feng Shui and many other cultures also had their own versions. Now, just a question out of curiosity, what do you think makes Feng Shui still so relevant in today's day and age, not just among the Chinese community, but worldwide amongst more and more people who ascribe to it, as opposed to many other styles of cosmology from other cultures that have become faded out over the years?
In fact, Feng Shui nowadays, right, we find that more and more people using it.
That's right.
It's been, the system itself actually is become very matured in maybe about 2,000 years ago, already very matured. A lot of books has been like written down, recorded, a lot of so-called algorithm, a lot of system has been there.
That's right.
Especially come into the Tang Dynasty about 1,400 years ago, already very matured. And then after so many years, right, it's been used even far more aggressively. A lot of people, not only the Chinese people, we have a lot of Malay friends, even the Indians friends, even the European countries also using, simply because firstly, it is very logical to use it. Secondly, it's very easy to be implemented. Secondly, it's effective. That means it's very effective.
Right.
And without also clashing with actually the actual implementation of Feng Shui, right? It does not require to so-called to link with any powers to be any so-called
that is true. It's
any religious belief.
It's more of a philosophy.
Yeah,
than
it's a way of life actually. We are in life. We always are having a lot of so-called choices. The choices are putting our chair here or there. If let's say basing on some algorithm or some calculations, right? For example, the Feng Shui calculations, maybe to put here should be better. There is no any clashes, right? Instead of comparing to putting there and here, right? Here can be better. So people try it out. They find that it's effective. So it's being used by a lot of big corporates, not only individuals and also companies as well.
That's right. So now when Feng Shui's relevance comes in, not from a macro perspective, there's also the micro perspective.
Yes.
Now you were mentioning something interesting, Master Kenny. You mentioned about the element of the zodiac sign as well. Now I think all of us in general, we are aware about the 12 zodiac signs, the Chinese ones, which of course follow the animals. Now what do you mean when you speak about each animal, it can have 5 elements as well, for those who may not be so familiar?
Each animal itself, actually it itself having their own element as well. For example, the rat is, located, for example, in the north is having a lot of water, so rat is water element.
Right.
And then the ox, right, ox is having a bit of, is actually the earth element. And then the tiger is the wood element. So each of the zodiac having their own element as well.
Right.
When the so-called each of the year, when it goes in the cycle, they will be having another element on top
that
of it.
year, right?
Of that year. That's why it's called X and Y.
Right.
It's heavenly stem and earthly branch. The branch is the 12 animals zodiac sign. The X is actually the 1 to 10 types from yin and yang element. For example, water, we have yin water and yang water, or some people they name it as a small water, big water.
I see, okay.
Big wood, small wood, or yin wood, yang wood.
Right,
From
okay.
there,
on that note, we take a quick commercial break, and when we're back, still with Master Kenny, who's speaking about Feng Shui for the coming year. Stay with us. The Nation, still with me, Tamina Kausji, and Master Kenny, who's speaking about Feng Shui, predictions and more for 2017. And so, Master Kenny, as we were saying, now you were mentioning that each animal has an element, and within the elements as well, there's another layer, because it can have the element according to the year you're born in.
That's why I say Chinese culture is a multi-dimensional culture.
That's right.
And it's not just basing on one level, then we can see everything. Actually, just like, for example, in the year itself, for example, this year is the fire rooster year.
That's right.
So a lot of master, maybe they may say that fire clashing with the rooster. Rooster is the matter element. So fire burning the matter, that is a clashing year. So some may say 2017 is a very negative year.
Right.
But we should not look at it in such a way. Actually, we should look at the whole set of so-called the 八字. The year, the month, the day, and also the time. Similarly, when we want to read someone's so-called the 八字, their life path, actually we can read their birthday and time. From the birthday and time, I will always name this as the secret code.
I see.
Just like the DNA code.
It's like unlocking a key.
Yeah, we can unlock. Actually, we can see a lot of things. From the 8 characters, we can see the person's character, and also the person's, for example, how's their parents to be,
I
their
see.
parents' character, and also their spouse, their children, their working environment, how it's going to be. When we know that maybe not so good, then we can do some enhancement, maybe more born naturally. If they are born naturally to be very good, then we can leverage it, even make it bigger.
Right, okay. So basically, there are so many ways to help make life better based on what you already have, right? Now, let's speak about the different years and the different attributes. For example, let's say if somebody is born in a wood year, does that mean that they generally have certain qualities compared to others?
Of course, wood, comparing, we cannot just basing on the so-called the year itself.
Okay.
For example, you're born in the year of the wood, rat year. We cannot simply say, okay, wood having this character. For example, some people born in the water snake year, and then they become like maybe smarter or maybe this and that. We must check the whole set of the so-called the parts.
Right, okay, so all the full set. Now, let's bring it down to Feng Shui in general for the year 2017. I think everybody agrees, by and large, 2016 was a really challenging year. Globally, locally, perhaps even personally for many people. I think we saw a lot of disasters happen, both natural and man-made. We saw economies go up, go down. So most people had a pretty negative idea. Now, of course, every new year, especially the Chinese New Year, is all about starting on a new foot.
Yeah, so Chinese New Year is the very interesting so-called festive season.
That's right.
It's when we open a new chapter of life. We want everything to be refreshed, to reset, to a new start.
It's like a new button almost. Now, Chinese New Year itself, are there any particular Feng Shui practices that are recommended around the Chinese New Year time, just before or just after?
Of course, within the, even right before the Chinese New Year, before, let's say, on the New Year Eve, right?
Right.
Until the whole set of 15 days, we always want to think positively.
Right.
Talk positively, right?
Exactly.
There is, actually, Chinese culture is a very, a culture actually also full with a lot of so-called implementation of the law of attraction as well. Because
naturally speaking.
Naturally, the old folk will always remind the young ones, right? To tell them, don't say anything negatively. Otherwise, the whole year round, you'll be attached with or attract a lot of negative so-called incidents, negative things. And also, don't think about anything negative. Should there be anything negative things happen, also you should also think it positively. For example, a glass broke. Okay. Also, we have to think it or become like just like a flower blossoms.
Right, something good coming out of some painful experience.
Yes.
Okay, right.
This is something very important. Of course, in terms of Feng Shui practice, for example, in this year, there are certain sectors of in the house.
Right.
We need to understand, for example, which sector of the house maybe will be occupied by some negative qi or negative elements. For example, in the west and also in the east sector, west, that's where the so-called just like the emperor of the year, right, will be occupied. Okay. Because the rooster actually is just like the emperor. Right. Rooster is actually sitting at the west sector. So opposite 180 degree will be the east. So in these two sectors, we should not do any so-called renovations, especially after entering to February the 3rd, 11:35 p.m. onwards. That's when the change of the year.
That's specific. Okay, understood.
And besides that, a lot of people may be wondering, okay, these two sectors, can I sit there? Can I do anything? Sitting there, sleeping there is okay, not to worry.
Right, but just the whole changeover, renovation.
Yeah, don't do any changeover, don't do any renovation. That's okay. And also try not to put a lot of so-called maybe thing can disturb these two sectors. Disturb means, for example, to put very colorful things in the red color, yellowish in color.
Let it be calm.
Yeah, be calm, and don't purposely go and install a hi-fi there.
Oh, okay, things like that, right.
Yeah. The other good sectors are the north sector.
Okay.
North sector is very good because the north is occupied by the number 9 star, which is a very auspicious so-called the qi.
I see.
Especially right now, we are entering from period 8 Feng Shui cycle. Slowly, gradually, we are stepping into the period 9 cycle.
Right.
And 2017 is a very interesting year.
Why is that?
Because we are having the Feng Shui cycle 20 years, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah, period 8 started from 2004. And then the first 10 year ended in the year of 2013.
Right.
After entering to 2014, we are entering to the second part of the 20-year cycle.
Ah, I
And
see.
2017 is the time actually we are entering to the remaining 25% of the period 8 cycle.
Right, so in quarters.
Yeah.
So it's the last quarter now.
Yeah, the last quarter
okay,
already.
Understood.
And then from this year, actually, the period 9 Qi is actually starting to give its influence already.
Right.
We do not need to wait until 2024. That's when the period 9 will be officially arriving.
Right.
So in this year, that's why I named this year as the year of the new opportunities. And also we are entering to a new world order.
Right.
There'll be a lot of new things we are seeing. For example, a lot of countries will be having general elections, or some
That's
already
right.
just done it, for example, over the past few months. In that case, there'll be
The
a lot.
outcomes are something quite interesting.
Yes,
Right.
the outcome, and also there'll be a lot of new policies to be introduced to the countries or to the region and to the
Right.
whole world. And then everything is like reshuffling.
That's right. New world order, as you
Yes,
said.
and a lot of people may think over the past 2 years or last year may not be that good, so we they expect this year will be worse. However, we do not view in such a way. Actually, we will be entering to a much more beautiful cycle starting from this year. But the starting, just like
Right.
the tip of the iceberg.
Ah,
That's the
okay.
beginning. That's why I named this year as the year of new opportunities.
Right.
In order to capture this opportunity to leverage it, actually we can firstly to maybe to activate the north sector.
Right.
The north sector is a very good sector in our house or in the company. For example, firstly, the north sector cannot be messy. Make it neat and tidy, bright, airy, and also we can put in a lot of so-called the bluish color items there.
I see. Right.
For example, some houses facing to the north, right? Naturally, maybe they're having a feature wall. Yeah, in the north sector, we can repaint it to become a bit bluish color.
Okay.
And that is
right.
one of the very easy way to do the so-called repainting.
To take most benefits from the north sector.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
And of course, if their house faces to the north, and in the north they're having the living hall, of course they can do a lot of things. Most of their activities are to be done there. That will be good because
it keeps the place vibrant.
yeah, a lot of
right?
vibrance will
okay.
be resonating with the family members.
Right.
Similarly, in the office, so happen, let's say the general managers or the director's room is located in the north, will be very good. If
Okay.
it's not, they can also similarly just decorate the place to use more bluish color item.
Right. I
So
see.
this is a very so-called easy way to attract or to capture the positive chi in this year, and then by doing so can kickstart a lot of things, and then can move on positively throughout the whole year.
Right.
The-
Okay.
The other very positive sector is located in the southeast.
Southeast.
Yeah.
Okay. So far we have west, we've got the north, and now we've got the southeast. Okay.
Yeah.
Why the southeast?
The southeast is occupied by the number 9 star.
Okay.
Number 9 is a very auspicious chi, especially right now. From 2017 onwards, the chi is even getting stronger. That means the effect will be faster. We can actually further activating this sector by very easily to activate using more reddish color item. Maybe some red color carpet, some red color so-called
Right.
decorative items. Right. For example, a lot of people maybe has been receiving a lot of hampers, right?
That's
Mostly
true.
during the Chinese New Year, the hampers are in red color.
That's
Maybe
right.
can just accumulate it there in the
Right.
southeast sector.
Okay.
And then the effect, the positive effect will be they will be having a lot of good news. The good news will bring them a lot of happiness. So what kind of good news will bring happiness? For example, marriage. For example, having boyfriend, girlfriend, falling in love stronger.
That's right.
Job upgrades, to have babies. And then in terms of the school children, they'll be getting a lot of good results, getting a lot of A's.
Right.
These are the
Wonderful.
so-called the good news. Then this, by activating the southeast sector, can enhance, not only that, can also enhance the health of the whole family members as well.
Right. Okay.
So this is a very easy but very effective way to so-called to capture or to attract the positive chi.
Okay. Now, I think another very interesting way to perhaps look at the Chinese zodiac would be something that you generally do, Master Kenny. What you do is you put the signs into trio groups. Now, let's speak about the trio groups, and what we'll try and do is, because Master Kenny also specializes in this, we'll try and look at them in the different quadrants.
Yes.
So you've got your your wealth, which is of course to do with your career and enhancement. Then you've got the health. You've also got academic knowledge. You've got love and relationships, and something called nobleman and helper.
Yes.
Right. So let's first go through what each of these topics means, and then we can go into your trios.
When we talk about, for example, everyone, we are quite concerning about very vertically in our life, right? How's their health? How's their so-called career or wealth? And also how's their studies, love and relationship, right? Very vertically in terms of their functions. For example, for those who are born in the years of the for example, the monkey, the rat, and also dragon, naturally in the year of 2017 will be their love affair year.
Right.
So they'll be getting a lot of chance to fall in love strongly. Those who are already fall in love right now, the chance for them to get married will be stronger, higher, very high chance. If they purposely do it, then can bring in a lot of so-called positive events.
Energies.
Energy and events. And besides that, those who are born in the year of the tiger, the horse, and also the dog, will be having higher chance in terms of their career advancement.
I see.
In terms of their money luck, their wealth luck, will be having a lot of so-called creation and also accumulations. So this will be a very happy year for them. And for those who are born in the year of the snake, the rooster, and also the ox, obviously this year they become more intelligent.
I see.
In terms of the academic achievement will be higher. And this will be a very good timing for them to, for example, to go further studies, to learn some new skill set, to enhance their technical knowledge, so they can further enhance their career. And also for the children who are still studying, right, this will be a year for those who are born in the year of the snake, the rooster, and also the ox, right, to achieve higher academic achievement in this year.
Right.
So
to go further.
Yeah, to go further, they can have a lot of so-called a lot of A's in this year. And the other group of the zodiac will be for those who are born in the year of the rabbit, and also the goat and a bull. In this year, they may need to be a little bit conservative. So try not to make any so-called drastic decisions in the months of, for example, March, July. And there'll be a lot of so-called traveling for them also. And however, should there be any so-called challenges, right, it will be resolved automatically by the month of November. Of course, some may say, I cannot wait until November, wait for the problem to resolve automatically. I need to make it earlier, the better, right? So they may do some so-called minor renovation in the place of their staying.
Make it as ideal as possible.
And also to maybe to do some traveling also will be better, can attract the positive chi earlier. Similarly, this idea also applicable to those who are born in the year of the snake and also the bull as well, the snake. For those who are born in the year of the snake, right, they should do a lot more traveling. The earlier, the better, actually.
I see, Now, on that note, another quick commercial break before we come back to the studios with Master Kenny Hu. Stay with us. Welcome back to the nation. Thanks for still keeping it locked on to the BERNAMA News Channel. Back with Master Kenny, who's speaking about Feng Shui in 2017 and the prospects for every star sign that there is. All right, Master Kenny, so as you were saying, now we can generally break down the year in terms of wealth, health, knowledge, as well as, of course, love and relationships. Now, there's another very interesting one that you actually introduced me to today, which is, of course, nobleman and helper enhancement.
Yes, nobleman.
What does that mean? Sounds very fancy.
Yeah, nobleman in terms of the Chinese culture is a very important so-called people.
Status-wise.
It can be a people, can be someone, can be the event, can be the space, can be the timing. That is actually supporter. I mean the helpers. The helper can be a physical helpers. Can be the time. For example, during some challenging timing, some critical timing, should there be any nobleman star, right? The problem can be resolved automatically by someone, by the then event, by the then current situations. That's why, especially among the old folks, right, usually when they do some prayer, for example, they pray to God, oh, God, please give me good health, to the family member, good wealth or whatever. But towards the end, usually the old folk will say, I wish all the small little men go away and I wish
Okay.
the nobleman come towards me.
Right.
That's so-called
Okay.
the 贵人. Yeah.
So to have good luck, you also need somebody and a social network in a way.
Yes,
And I think that is something very true today
especially
as well.
in today's world, right? The modern era, we have a lot of social media. We have the friendship network is so large, right? We wish always to have the friends always to become our nobleman.
Right.
When we are having noblemen, we can leverage on other people's strength and then leverage on their so-called capabilities, then can help us in terms of all of our undertakings, so that we can make our work, right, to be more effective, our effort to be more effective, so
Right.
that we can achieve a so-called do less, gain more.
Right, there you go. And you can also, of course, offer that same thing to your social network as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Understood. Now, coming back to the trio groups that you were speaking about earlier, Master Kenny, why is it that you categorize those specific animals together in the groups?
Naturally, each of the, for example, throughout the whole 12 zodiac,
Yes, the 12
right?
signs.
The 12 signs, there are some clashing signs. For example, those who are born in the year of the dragon,
Okay.
naturally the zodiac is clashed with the dog.
I see, okay.
The monkey actually clashed with the tiger. Besides that, we are having the trio, like good friends. It's like a what?
Like a little triangle.
Triangle, 60-degree triangle.
Right, I
When
see.
we draw the 12 zodiac sign together, it's in a 60-degree. So this trio, for example, then we can subdivide it into 4 groups.
Okay.
Basing on the so-called the seasons. For example, the rat group, that means we'll be having rat is very good with the monkey and also the dragon.
Right.
This is their energy is mostly in the north sector.
I see.
And their location in the north sector. And the horse is towards the south. So
Okay.
the horse, they will be having good friends for example, with those who are born in the year of the tiger and also the dog. So this is another group, the triad group.
Right.
So another group, let's say, led by the rabbit. So the rabbit, for example, is very good with, for example, the goat and also the bull.
The boar, okay.
The other group is in the west. Rabbit is in the east. The west group is, for example, the snake, the rooster, and also the ox. So these are the
Right.
3 groups. This trio, actually, they are having some similarity in terms of like some events, right, throughout the whole year. For example, in this year, who will be having so-called more intelligence because of the scholastic star will be shining on them.
Right,
will
shining
be,
bright for them.
Brighter to the rooster. The rooster become more intelligent. Besides that, the rooster may also, the intelligence may link back to those who are born in the year of the snake and also the ox.
Oh,
That's
I
why
see.
this trio,
right.
for
Because
those who
they're together in general.
together.
Okay, understood.
When the rooster is having this, though, also it will attach this so-called the new
Influence in a way.
positively. Or should there be any challenges, for example, for those who are born in the year of the monkey, and also they may need to take a little bit extra care in terms of their health in the
Right.
month of, for example, in the month of February and also August. Similarly, for those who are born in the year of the rat and also dragon, they may also take a little bit extra care in terms of their health in these 2 particular months.
All right, okay, so it's sort of like it goes across the board for
It's
that
not 100%
certain-
because each of the zodiac itself also having their
Own
own
individual luck,
individual
yes.
so-called the different features.
That's right. So it's very interesting. Is there any specific term, Master Kenny, for each of these 3 trios?
We call it the Sanhe.
Sanhe,
that means
okay.
the trio combination. Of
I
course, if we are
see.
having another Liu He is in pair. For example, this will be the 6 pairs.
Oh, I see. Would you mind telling us about
for
them?
example, for those who are born in the year of the horse naturally also very good with the goat.
Right.
The rat also having very good friend with those who are born in the year of the ox.
I see.
The tiger actually very good friend with those who are born in the year of the bull also.
Right.
Then the
Okay.
dog with the rabbit as well. Similarly, for example, in the year of the rooster, this year is a rooster year. So those who are born in the year of the dragon will be very good because the dragon and also rooster is considered Liu He is in pair.
They are a pair. Right. I see.
So in terms of like, if you look at it in a trio concept, right? In this year, the year of the rooster, trio rooster will be good with the snake and also the ox.
Right.
So the ox is actually very good. The snake also considered very good. However, the snake, when they are traveling, they'll be having a lot of traveling. The chance for them to move house, maybe to move to a new job, also very high. However, if possible, try to avoid making any major decisions in the month of the May and also November. This is how we look at it. Actually, it's a very systematic way to do the calculation.
Many layers, but it all seems to have a definite outcome.
Yes, yes.
Right.
It's in a very unique algorithm, actually.
Exactly. So now, how does it work out, for example, when people get personal fortunes made out? Is it something that you recommend in general in Feng Shui?
Some people may have this so-called the pantang. They say, hey, don't simply go and ask
Right,
whoever
yes,
sifu, right?
that's a coffin.
The more you ask, right, maybe can slim down your own luck also.
Right.
Actually, that's not true. Simply because maybe the friends around, they are afraid of someone, their friend, maybe meeting with the wrong person, giving
Right.
wrong information. Actually, should there be any chance they meet with a good master, actually, they can understand, do it annually, even do it monthly, but no need to do it monthly, do it annually, to understand at least about their health, about their career. Actually, this is very, quite effective. It's effective, it's quite accurate also. Just like nowadays, very commonly we use Waze when we go out, right?
Exactly.
Without Waze,
just to navigate, right?
Without the GPS system, a lot of people do not know where to go.
Exactly, exactly. So in a way, it's like navigating your entire year through.
Yes.
Right.
But of course, we do not need to be like everything before going out every day. Need to check. No need. So long we know in the macro way, like this year, what I need to be careful in what month, then should be okay already.
That's right, because you already sort of have it back of the head that this is what is recommended.
Yes.
Right. Now let's speak a little bit, Master Kenny, about Feng Shui in the home space. Later on we'll go into the workspace perhaps, but why is Feng Shui in the home considered to be such an important and dominant part? Most of us, when we hear the term Feng Shui, we immediately think, oh, about the house.
Yes. Because inside the house or in the office, right, if the configurations of the so-called the space planning is maybe unfavorable in terms of the Feng Shui theory, it will create a lot of clashes, maybe not so smooth. Maybe in terms of, maybe in health also will be also affected negatively.
Right.
So if health being affected negatively, maybe in terms of emotionally, also will be affecting to the family member, maybe to have more quarrels. And then when all these things become accumulated, a lot of so-called negative feeling about it, right? When we do our things, do our job, our study also will be affected.
Right,
so the whole year
naturally.
round will be not smooth or in terms of long term. Basically, for example, let's say in the kitchen, if the kitchen, the stove is very important. The stove actually is the heart of the house.
Right,
If the
yes.
stove is having clashing situations, so for example, the stove is facing to the water element, like the water basin, like the stove facing to the like washing machine. This is considered a water and fire clashing.
I see.
Usually almost maybe 90% and above, right, will be having this kind of situation. For example, family member may have more quarrel. And maybe in terms of the health-wise, we'll be having more health issues. These are the so-called scenario, how it affects. Maybe logically, people may think, how can it doesn't link directly? However, by having these situations from the empirical test,
Right, understand.
it will be having this kind of so-called outcome. So it must be avoided.
Right.
So, and in terms of Feng Shui Master, when we do the actual calculation or so-called the implementation, we will also need to check the whole family member's birthday and time. Then we will advise them which particular location or the sector the stove should be put. Then it will not only avoiding the negative outcome, it will also attract the positive chi.
Right,
To
understood.
make, because the stove, if it is put properly, put correctly, it can enhance in terms of not only health and also career, and also can create a lot of good things in all of the undertakings.
Right, understood. So let's say in a situation whereby you have a family home whereby the stove is facing the basin.
That is
Now,
very bad.
so how would they get around that? Is the only way to renovate it, or are there other things that Feng Shui recommends as fixes?
Of course, there'll be a lot of different ways. Most of the Feng Shui master may suggest, have to move it, or if the space is big enough, can
That's
allow
right.
can allow in between to put a table or put a cabinet in between to block.
To block the flow.
Then it's okay.
Right.
If it's too small, for example, in the condominium, right?
Right,
The space
yes.
is so small. I think we have no choice, have to do some minor renovation.
Right, okay, so there you go. So there are some hard and fast rules as well.
Yes,
Okay.
depend on situations actually.
Exactly. On that note, another quick commercial break, and when we're back, more with Master Kenny Hu. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Nation. Thanks for still being with us. Now with Master Kenny Hu speaking about Feng Shui in the year 2017. Now when the new year comes around, Master Kenny, another thing is always about how is this year going to be? Is it going to be a good year or a bad year? Especially after a year that was quite slow and perhaps quite negative in many aspects.
People are very cautious about the year.
People are cautious. They don't want to say anything, or they just think, let's just put our heads down and go ahead. But what do you have to say to that?
To me, I view this year as a very positive year.
Okay, wow.
We'll be seeing a lot of positive things start to emerge. That's why I named this year as the year of new opportunities, especially when the water element becomes stronger towards the end of the year, like November. There'll be a lot of new things start to emerge, and then we can see very clearly the economy, everything will be growing up, not only Malaysia but throughout the whole world.
Right,
and this has been like being so-called predicted a little bit by a very interesting book that I mentioned to you just now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which is called the 推背图. It's called the back pushing charts. It was being authored by two very famous Feng Shui masters, Master Yuan Tiangang and Master Li Chunfeng, in about 1,400 years ago. It talks about about the predictions about the Tang dynasty, the Tang people, right? The development, and also it talks about the neighboring countries as well, especially, for example, the different generations, different dynasty from the 1,400 years ago, the Tang dynasty moving forward until the modern era, until the current, for example, we are entering to the period 9, and then especially right now we are moving towards the period number 9. The better positive chi are moving towards to the south sector.
Right.
The south means the whole of Asia, with reference from China, right? The south is Southeast Asia, especially Malaysia. Right. Malaysia actually, especially after middle of last year, people start to realize that a lot of so-called big investment, or so-called big
players actually started flowing in. Yes.
Especially in Malaysia. And so what happened, Malaysia in terms of the Chinese name is Malaysia. The horse is very good.
Okay.
Right? I mean, Malaysia, Ma should be very good as well.
Okay, so it's going forward because the horse symbolizes that. Okay.
And also, so happened in this cycle, right? Because China is also having this the Belt and Road Initiative.
Okay.
That's actually activate a lot of so-called the economy development in this region, especially Malaysia. The Feng Shui configuration is so unique. The Qi will be contained here. There'll be a lot of positive development going on.
Right.
And we should look at it very positively. From this year onwards, there'll be a lot of new development, a lot of new job opportunities, and a lot of new, maybe new product, new services will be required in this kind of so-called new modern era.
Right.
So this is a time, maybe there could be a lot of people start to maybe do their own business because of maybe,
be more entrepreneurial as well.
Yes, this is a time for them to maybe they have to learn some new skill to start activating their business sense to capture these opportunities.
Absolutely. So now I love that it's a very positive spin on not just the year, but everything that is to come and interpretation.
And if we interpret from the rooster itself, usually rooster, some may say, oh, in year 19...
It's a flamboyant year.
Yeah, 1987 was having economic crisis, 1997 also, so 2007 not so good, so 2017 also not so good. Actually, to me, I do not view in such a way. The rooster actually is a very positive element, very positive animal.
If you just look at the animal itself, it's the first up every morning.
Yeah, and also it starts to wake, calling up everyone, right?
Exactly.
And then we start to make everyone be aware of the opportunities. We are not just waking up, we must aware of ourselves that opportunities is just around the corner.
So we must be the early bird as well and catch the worm.
That's right.
Right, okay. Now it's very fascinating when you speak about it in terms of the year of the rooster. The year of the rooster, what are some general things which are seen as possible during this year?
Rooster in this year is like waking up. The rooster is a matter element. Matter is when we throw a coin to the floor, right? We can hear the sound.
That's right.
The sound actually start to waking up people. Rooster year is the year of new opportunity. We should start. We also need to wake up by ourselves also.
Right.
Then only we can capture the opportunity. So this will be a very positive year.
Right, so it's all about self-starting, but at the same time also seeing the opportunity first.
Yes.
Right.
Instead of waiting for the opportunity to become like bigger, to become like very mature, then it will be too late. Other people may already grab all the opportunities
Exactly,
already.
that's right. Now, Chinese New Year wise, let's speak a little bit about the traditions surrounding it that may be related to Feng Shui as well. Now, technically speaking, it's actually celebrated for 23 days after the first day itself. So we still haven't even come to the 8th day of Chinese New Year. Why is it often that people always associate the number 8 with something good, and especially the 8th day of Chinese New Year?
The 8 actually is a very good number, and the 9 as well.
Exactly, that's what we hear.
During the 8th day on the night, right? In the night of the 8th day, actually entering to the 9th day will be another very big event, very major day for especially the Hokkien dialect.
That's right, the Hokkien community always brings it in with a big bang, literally.
Yeah, having a lot of so-called big prayers. According to the legend, actually many years ago, do not know how many years ago, the Hokkien people in the village, right, being so-called attacked by the other tribe. And then all the villagers, they hide in the sugarcane farm.
Right.
Then after they came out, when the war or the fight no more already, when they came out, right, that was the 9th day. So on that day, they did a lot of celebration, and then during the prayer, they also having the sugar cane.
Right, so that is where the sugar cane's presence comes from. I see.
And then, of course, each of the day throughout the whole 15 days also signifies.
Yes, the first 15 days.
Signifies different, so-called different meanings as well.
Right.
For example, on the 7th day will be the birthday for everyone.
Exactly.
So when we meet everyone, not only we say 恭喜发财, we also wish everyone happy birthday. For example, 7th day will be tomorrow.
Okay, I see. Right.
So a lot of people may also wish everyone 恭喜发财 plus happy birthday.
Right. So that's everyone's cosmic birthday.
Because the 7th day, that's when the Ni Wo, the lady god during the ancient time, according to the legend, she created humankind on the 7th day.
Okay, so that is how you bring together the tradition with practice today as well. Right.
Then the 8th day, the 9th day, also very auspicious day. In fact, throughout the whole 15th day, all also carrying different meaning, different significance. So the whole and then the 15th day will be the peak.
Exactly.
There'll be a lot of people going out, and on the 15th day also, the Valentine's of the Chinese
That's
people.
right, exactly. And this year it will be coming close to the traditional general Valentine's Day celebration
and moreover, this year, the year of the rooster, is the love affair year. A lot of people will be falling in love very strongly. There'll be a lot of people getting married, so having babies. So this will be a year full with a lot of celebrations.
There you go, very fruitful.
We should actually always resonate with it, instead of sitting isolating ourselves. Oh, this will be a bad year, so I do not want to do anything. We should actually resonating, dance with it.
Exactly.
So that the positive chi will keep on coming to us, shower us.
Exactly. Now, on that note, thank you so much for your time, Master
Thanks so
Kenny.
much for having me here.
Absolutely, it's been a pleasure. So we wish you, of course, from Master Kenny and myself as well, 恭喜发财 to everybody out there celebrating. Happy holidays and back to work for everybody else. Thanks for joining us on The Nation. We'll see you again next week.